Hello and welcome to Green Healing, where we discuss alternative and natural healing from abuse and CPTSD. Today, I want to expand some more on the emotional literacy and to talk about combining it with Bach Flower Remedies. Obviously, since this season of Green Healing is all focused on Bach Flower Remedies. I previously spoke about the emotional literacy when I challenged myself to doing it consecutively for 30 days. I explained what it is, my assessment of it. And emotional literacy comes from Richard Grannon with 2 N's, the Spartan Life Coach, and you can find that easily on Instagram. He has a guide for doing the emotional literacy. Obviously, I wrote myself some quick guides as well. And I've also spoken about expanding the emotional literacy and combining it with EFT tapping therapy. So today I want to talk about which remedies are good for which main emotion. Sometimes part of the action plan is sipping on a Bach flower remedy. Obviously, if you are taking a Bach flower remedy after doing emotional literacy, after identifying the emotions, and obviously identifying the emotions with emotional literacy will help determine the Bach flower remedy that you need in that moment. Sometimes you're feeling a certain way, you don't know what to take. The emotional literacy will help you determine that. And for this case, you wouldn't be taking it from a stopper bottle because that is for long term. It's the short term. It's to sip, the sipping water. So I'm going to go through each main emotion and what remedies are great for that. I'll also have on my website the list that you can use as a reference guide if you want. For anger, chicory for feeling possessive and selfish. Crabapple for self-hatred. Holly, hatred, envy, jealousy. Pine, when feeling self-reproach, guilty. Vine, domineering, inflexible. White chestnut, for unwanted thoughts and mental arguments. Willow, for resentment. Anxiety. Aspen, for fears of unknown origins. Clematis, for dreamers, for disassociation. Hornbeam, for weariness and mental fatigue. Impatience, feeling nervous, impatient. Mimulus, for fears of known origins. Red chestnut, anxiety for others. Vervain, for hyperanxiety and tenseness. Water violet, when feeling proud, aloof, rigid, and tense. White chestnut, for unwanted thoughts and mental arguments. Fear, aspen, for fears of unknown origin. Cherry plum, for feeling of desperation, the fear of the mind giving way, for multiple types of fears. Clematis, for disassociation. Mimulus, for fears of known origins. Red chestnut, fear for others. Rock rose, terror. Hurt, centauri, for feeling subservient when you cannot say no. This is the remedy for being able to say no and help set boundaries. Gentian, when feeling discouraged, despondent. Larch, for lack of confidence, for feeling inferior. Mustard, for feeling gloom, hopelessness. Sweet chestnut, for extreme anguish and mental despair. Wild rose, for resignation and apathy. Irritation. Beech, for intolerance. Crabapple, for feeling unclean and disgust. Heather, for self-concern and self-centeredness. Holly, for envy and jealousy. Impatience, when feeling irritable, impatient, and nervous. Vine, when feeling domineering and inflexible. White chestnut, for unwanted thoughts and mental arguments. Sad. Centauri, when feeling subservient. Elm, for feeling overwhelmed. Gentian, when discouraged and despondent. Gorse for hopelessness and despair. Honeysuckle when living in the past and when you have regrets. Larch for lack of confidence or no confidence at all. Mustard for deep depression. Oak when despondent but still struggling on. Sweet chestnut for extreme anguish. Shame, centauri when feeling servile, unable to say no. Honeysuckle when living in the past. Pine when feeling guilty. Shock. Cherry plum, the fear of the mind giving way. Clematis for disassociation for dreamers. Honeysuckle for living in the past. Rock rose for terror. Star of Bethlehem for shock. Wild rose, resignation and apathy. Vengeful. Chicory, feeling a duty owed, feeling selfish. Holly, for when feeling hatred, envy, or jealousy. Pine, for self-reproach, feeling guilty or self-punishment. Willow, when feeling resentment. When feeling bad generally. Agrimony, for a brave face during mental torture. Serrato, for self-doubt. Chestnut bud, when there is a failure to learn from mistakes, whether recognized or unrecognized. Elm, when feeling overwhelmed. Hornbeam, for weariness and mental fatigue. Olive, for complete exhaustion. Rock rose, for self-repression and denial. Scleranthus, for uncertainty and indecision. Walnut, for protection from outside influences and when being oversensitive to ideas and influences. Wild oat, for uncertainty regarding life choices. Rescue Remedy can help with any main emotion given it has impatience, Star of Bethlehem, cherry plum, rock rose, and clematis, but is particularly good for anger, fear, shame, shock, and feeling bad generally. If the main emotion is happy, chances are you do not need any remedy. So you can rest assured for that. So anyway, let me know if you've tried this. Go ahead, check out the other episodes. Try the emotional literacy for 30 days. I highly recommend it. It really helps a lot. Check out the playlist for Bach Flower Remedies. If you want to support green healing, check out our merch and products. And remember, empower yourself and be emotionally free.